Yo, we're back. Cool. Cool video today actually. We're gonna do some Bitcoin. A lot of people know about Bitcoin, a lot of people don't understand Bitcoin. That's the issue. As you can see, the thumbnail says why I own 100,000 Bitcoin. I don't own 100,000 Bitcoin. That's called clickbait, people. It's to get you to click on it. You know, because you guys are stubborn. I don't know why you guys are stubborn. Read the stuff that gives you information. You know what I mean? You want to watch entertainment. Yes, there's time for everything, but educate the mind, expand the mind. But back to the video. To understand Bitcoin, I have to take you through the history of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was introduced in 2009 by a group of people or one person, we don't really know. There's one guy that we suspect. His name is Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto. What a cool, that's such a dope name. But when he was approached, he denied it. And at first I questioned, why would he deny something so great? But then it made sense to me. If the government finds out who created Bitcoin, they're definitely gonna kill this person, because this person is clearly capable of disrupting the entire system. And why Bitcoin is so good is because it's decentralized. What this means is that no one person controls it. Unlike a bank or the economy, where a group of people can go into a boardroom and they can decide, okay, this is what the interest rate is going to look like, this is what we need to do. Bitcoin is decentralized. Nobody controls it. So 51% of the Bitcoin users on the planet need to decide on something. And if 51% of people don't decide or don't agree with something, then that thing won't be enacted. And imagine millions of people around the world own Bitcoin or control Bitcoin, or are involved in the system. So it's going to be very difficult to change the system. And that's the purpose of how they created it. They call Bitcoin people's money, because people need to decide what happens with Bitcoin, which is very cool, which is a dope aspect of its creation. It's people's money. That's so cool. Let me show you an example of why it's good to have decentralized currency. Let's say I have R1 million in the bank, which I'm gonna have very soon, I have to admit. I have 100 million in the bank, and I approach the bank. I say, okay, I want to move all my money overseas. Legally the bank can tell me, no, we can't do that. You have to explain to us why. You have to give us notice and stuff like that. The weird thing is, it's my money. You see, so why do I have to explain why I want to use my money or how I want to use my money? That's how the banks work. They control how you spend your money. Whereas with Bitcoin, we don't have that same issue. It's like nobody controls it. It's anonymous. Everyone in the system is anonymous. You operate on your public keys. Nobody knows the human who's tied behind the public key. It's like I don't know. I don't have an analogy for you, but nobody knows who's who, which is also the problem with Bitcoin, because drug dealers and criminals, they decide, okay, nobody will know it's me, so let me launder money through Bitcoin. You see, but that's human nature. It's human nature to try and destroy things that benefit us. I don't know why we do it, but we do it. Another reason for Bitcoin over currency is because of inflation. You can go up, you can ask the average person, what is inflation? And they'll tell you, inflation is when price of goods go up. But if you switch it, if you say, okay, why do you think that happens? They don't know. The reason things go up, or reason inflation exists, it's not because the product or whatever you're getting is more valuable. No, that doesn't make any sense. It's because the currency or the money you're using to buy the thing becomes worth less. You see, and how can something become worth less? It can only become worth less if it's easier to find. And the thing is, when you print money, when you introduce new money into the system, it floods them, it dilutes, it inflates how much money there is in the economy. So then the money you have becomes worth less. I mean, if you look at this graph from the purchasing power versus the currency, in 1971, purchasing power was at its highest, because back then currency was backed by gold. But then Richard Nixon, he decided, no, let's change this. Let's detach the two. And as you can see, the purchasing power of the dollar started to go down. And because if you look at the red graph, the money in circulation started to increase. This means that we started to print more money, more and more money. Everyone will tell you that inflation is a natural thing. You go to college, you go to university, you ask these guys, these very smart people, why does inflation exist? You say, no, it's a natural thing. It's not a natural thing. It's because of money printing. Money printing leads to a weaker currency. If you look at all the great empires throughout history, the Roman Empire, what they used to do is they didn't necessarily print money, but what they did, because they used coins, they used to shave the coins, they used to make the coins smaller. That's still money printing. It's just in a different mechanism, you see. But that's the beauty of Bitcoin. Why it's different? Because Bitcoin, in its code, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. You know, so calculations show that the last Bitcoin will probably be mined in like 2150, which is what 130 years from now. It seems like a lot of time, but like 21 Bitcoin is not that much Bitcoin for people. Like by then, I imagine the population will be maybe 20 billion people, 20 billion people, or whatever. I don't know. 21 million versus 21 billion. That's a lot. Like that's a huge deficit. Bitcoin is going to be worth ridiculous amounts. But that's the thing also, Bitcoin isn't an investment. Bitcoin is a mechanism to have money outside of the system. Because I mean, look at the new CBDC, the central bank digital currencies. Most people don't even know what that is, but they're going to vote for it because they don't understand it. This is the ultimate control. This is Bitcoin. This is a currency exactly like Bitcoin, controlled by the blockchain. Or I don't know exactly how it works, but just know once this thing is introduced, your freedom will be gone, because then the government can see exactly what you spend your money on. If you go to McDonald's and you order a Coke, they will know exactly what you did because it will be on record for them. That's taking your freedom away. You don't have choice anymore because everyone's tracking you. Bitcoin will be the scapegoat then. People will start transacting because nobody can see where what's happening with Bitcoin is the future of money. It really is. If you understand why it's the future of money, you'll understand why this thing it's necessary to have it. It's not an investment. You don't buy Bitcoin because it's going to go up in value. You buy Bitcoin so that you have an alternative solution. That's why you buy gold and silver coins, not gold and silver ETFs and stocks. The coins is so that you can trade outside of the system. That's why the government's trying to take away what's this thing? Cash, because you can't trace cash, right? Whereas if in your bank account you can. If you move money in a different bank account, they can see this. Cash you can't. That's why you also pay no taxes on cash, because they don't know what's happening with the cash. That's why they're trying to take it away. But people will vote for it because they'll feel like cash is unnecessary. I don't like carrying cash in my pocket. Do you understand what would happen if cash disappears? Everything you do will be traced. Will be traced. I'm not saying use cash to not get traced. I'm saying the option. We need the option. I mean, if you look at any government, a government is just a group of people exactly like you. Why are they trying to tell me how to operate? I've never understood it. As a young kid, looking at all these people who just accept what the government tells them. The government is exactly like you. It's people. It's not like it's a robot that's smarter than you. It's people exactly like you. So why do you give them so much power? But back to Bitcoin. Now a point of Bitcoin is you should never really sell Bitcoin. You buy it and you just keep it. Because I mean, look at rich people. There's a reason rich people buy art and all these expensive things. We think it's so that their house looks nice. No, it's because these things appreciate in value, which they then use. They go to the bank. You say, bank, I have this art piece. It's worth maybe 20 million. Give me a loan for 20 million. If I don't pay the money back, you can take the art piece. In the business or in the system, in finance, we call this collateral. The art piece is the collateral. So what they use the money that they get, the loan, what they use it for, they buy businesses and stuff like that. Things that create more money. They don't use it to buy cars and stuff like the average person does. They use it to buy businesses. The business creates more money. They buy more art. It's a cycle. It feeds on itself. That's why the rich get richer. It's not because they're stealing your money. It's because they know how money works. Stop saying that rich people are greedy and stuff like that. Understand how rich people operate. I mean, Jay-Z said it beautifully in his song, the story of OJ. He says he buys an art piece and he just waits. He waits for it to appreciate. And then he's going to give it to his kids, who hopefully will do the same thing he does. Because Rich people they buy things that appreciate. The average person spends their money on clothes and stuff like that. Anything that you use depreciates in value. An art piece doesn't depreciate because you don't use it. You just put it on your wall and it's there. It's one of a kind. Everyone wants this thing. The longer you have it, the more it will be worth. Now that's investing. Investing is buying things that appreciate. A stock doesn't appreciate. What happens is the demand for the stock increases or it decreases. But there's still a lot of manipulation that happens with stock trading. But people just want to get rich quick. They go to the advisor tells them invest in a well-diversified portfolio of mutual funds and ETFs and stuff like that. Yo, the guy who you're taking advice from is just as broke as you. That's his job, He doesn't know how to be rich. If he knew how to be rich, he wouldn't be working at a job. That's the thing. But, that's a discussion for another day. Anyways, to end it off, just join our Island Business School. We teach you everything you need to know. Or I think everything you need to know about money, like taxes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You can join from anywhere. You can learn anywhere. You have to read. It's a course, so you're going to read it. There's no tests, there's no schedules. But the reason you have to read it is because reading is exercise for the mind. You can't just listen to things all the time. You have to go within yourself. You have to read. Reading is exercise for the mind. Helps you solve solutions, solve problems and stuff like that. That's why in school math was so crucial. Math isn't about math. Math is about solving the problem. In life comes with a lot of problems. If you did well in math, most likely you'll be able to solve a lot more problems. This is not guaranteed, because people miss the point of math. They think math is just so I can get an 80. The point of math is to figure out a way to solve problems. That's all it is. But anyway, I talk too much. Join the Island Business School. It's cool, you can do whatever. It's cool. Let's do it, man. Yeah, man.